here's something a little bit different. I thought I would start doing a series of um, video CD album reviews of my favorite albums that I've collected all over the years. Now they're not gonna be like the current latest ones, because obviously I don't know if they still make CDs now because most people stream. But yeah, I wanted to do and showcase a lot of the albums that meant a lot to me growing up, and what influenced me, and what I liked listening to growing up and still love listening to. And the first of which is the of BLACKstreet's first album. This was their debut album, um, released in 1994 on the Interscope Records label. The group was formed by Teddy Riley and Chauncey Hannibal. For those of you who may realize the name Teddy Riley, obviously he was a big record producer. He did a lot of produced and written a lot of songs in the 90s for a lot of groups and single artists. He was formerly in a group called Guy, which I've got a couple of albums which I will be doing reviews of as well. Now, one of the biggest songs that Teddy Riley wrote and produced was of the Bobby Brown single "My Prerogative," which I hope people will recognise that tune because it's a banger. And this, as I thought, when I first originally owned this album, I first originally had this on tape. Not and obviously this was back in the day when when we had hi-fi systems and ghetto blasters, and I remember buying this on, as I said, or a tape or cassette, as people call them. And obviously they were like convenient because you could either listen it to or your hi-fi system, or if you had a Walkman, you could carry around your albums around. And but the only problem with cassettes were you would either wear out the tape, or sometimes, I don't know if this is common with most people, where sometimes the tape would get caught in the actual rollers and then the tape would all spew out. I mean, you had to carefully try to take out the cassette without tearing the actual tape inside. And then, but even when you flattened it, didn't always sound as good. So eventually, when I got around to getting a CD, I have a system with a CD player in it. I upgraded to CDs, and then slightly before that, and then just after that, we had like mini disc players. And so what I did was I copied a lot of my CDs to the mini disc format. And obviously after that, you had the iPods and stuff where you could download your CDs into your computer and then hook up your iPod and then do it like that. But yeah, this is one of my favorite albums. Now, the group BLACKstreet over the years would release several different studio albums, and with each album that the group BLACKstreet released, the actual group lineup would always change. So, but you always still had the main two members in it, which was Teddy Riley and Chauncey Hannibal. They were always in it, but the lineup with each album always changed. Now, with the lineup on this particular album, I'm trying to look here because I'm trying to remember their names. Let me try and look here. I'm trying to look here because I'm trying to get this right. Yeah, the original lineup on with this particular album was obviously Teddy Riley, Chauncey Hannibal. It was Joseph Stonestreet and Levi Little. If I've got this right. No. Sorry, I've got that wrong. It was Joseph Stonestreet and David Holster. So yeah, but again, this is one of my favorite bangers. I mean, even how things like that are like now, I do really miss the R&B of the 90s. For me, that's when it was in its prime. Now I'm trying to see how many tracks this has got. This has got 19 tracks, but technically it's 20 because you get a bonus track. And you got track 1. Get some focus here. It's the intro with BLACKstreet, Philosophy, and the interlude. You've got track 2, Baby Be Mine. Track 3, You Blow My Mind. Track 4, Hey Love, Keep It Real, interlude. Track 5, I Like the Way You Work. Track 6, Good Life. Track 7, that's a physical thing. Track 8, Make You Wet. Track 9, Booty Call, which was I think that was the soundtrack that they used in the movie CB4 with Chris Rock. But I think that one was a remix version of that particular track. So in the movie, it was a remix version of it. Track 10, Love's in Need. Number 11, Joy. Track 12, Before I Let You Go. Track 13, Confessions, interlude. 14, Fall in Love Again. Track 15, Candlelight Night, interlude. Track 16, Tonight's the Night. Track 17, Happy Home. Track 18, Wanna Make Love. Track 19, Once in a Lifetime, interlude. And track 20, Giving You All My Lovin', the CD bonus track. So apparently this is only on the CD, but yeah, absolutely love this music. I mean, the actual this album was a very important for me. It was a very important part of my childhood and my teenage years, right, growing up. There was a lot of times when I was going through a lot of bad things in life, and whenever I felt like in a bad way or just wanted to sit there and chill up and just wanted to chill out, putting this CD on and just listening to the entire album, it always used to put me in a better place. So we've got Teddy Riley there. That's pretty cool. As again, the writing is so small. Oh God, and this is the thing is I know that because like now, thing about having cassettes or CDs or mini disc, right, for that matter, is that unless you're creating a compilation of your favorite tracks from different artists, whether you're burning it onto CD or mini disc or you're recording it onto cassette, it's the one thing. Can I quite put this? I miss having the physical media, because in a one sense, I love looking at the CD artwork and the booklets that would come with it, and having the physical album, the artwork in your hands. But then, in a sense, I miss one of the good things about having an iPod is that depending on what size storage you got, you can fit what I was managed to do on my classic iPod is I had a 64 gigabyte model, so I could virtually put all my albums and all the different CD singles that I owned onto one device. So carrying it around and you wanted to listen to a particular track, particular album, a particular remix CD or whatever it was, you had it at your fingertips. But then the downside is that, as simple, you don't have the physical thing in your hand, but the convenience of carrying around your own collection is what I kind of miss. But then the convenience of having it all in one place. And then now if you've got Apple Music and Spotify, and you've also got Bluetooth on your mobile phone, you can just subscribe to these particular services. And then you don't have to buy the albums anymore. You can just listen to it at your heart's content. So in that sense, it's kind of convenient. But I just miss having the physical media. So yeah, you got Charlie Hannibal there, and then you got David Holster there, and then you got Levi Little there. So yeah, those were the original lineup of BLACKstreet. As I said before, by the time it gets to the second studio album, which was titled The Another Level, those two members would end up leaving, and then there'll be a whole different set. But then I do have the album to that, so we'll get to that. Obviously, I can't play the actual see the actual tracks and give you like a flavor of what they sound like, because again, the YouTube copyright. Back in the day, you could have done that, and I would have done that, but you can't. But as I said before, it's very easy to find these music tracks on YouTube, or if you're subscribed to a music service, you can find the albums on there. I think there may even be, let me just double check, I don't know if there's a extended version, because on some of the albums there's actually I'm trying to check it, there's actually expanded versions of the of these particular albums, and that basically just means that that they've basically added they basically expanded tracks of the particular of that particular album. I'm trying to check here, and I don't think there is of this particular one. No, I'm just double checking there just to be thorough. But no, there's no expanded version of this. So yeah, so what I like to do now is go through some of my personal favorite tracks that I loved listening to, of and I still love listening to, which is going to be difficult because I'm going to be honest with you, all the tracks on this album are completely banging, whether it's the fast tracks, the up tempo tracks, or the slow jams. They're all really, really good. For the most part, I think Teddy Riley wrote and produced most of them, except for I think one of them. I think Stone Street did one of them, I think. Now, the second track, was it Baby Be Mine? That's one of my favourite tracks. There's something about the there's like the singing in it. There's a little bit of rapping on there as well. Just the how the actual song was all put together. It's just upbeat, fantastic track. You could easily be playing that in a club right now. Then my other favourite track is the third track, You Blow My Mind. But again, there's something lyrically about that particular track. It's just absolutely great. And then again, there's a rap in there as well. That's a classic track, and there's even a music video to that as well. Really, 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 really love that track. And then there's an interlude called Hey Love, and then that's basically Teddy Riley rapping on that. Then is the fifth track is my favourite as well. Is that I love the way you work. Great track. Another track I'd recommend is track 7, Physical Thing. The ninth track, Booty Call. Excellent track. Highly recommend that track. It's just the beat in it. One of my favourite tracks is called Joy. It's very slow tempo song. There is a couple of remix versions of that available, and the remixes are really good as well, just as good as the original. Track 12 I recommend, Before I Let You Go. It's another slow jam track. It's just the music composition and the vocal harmony in that track is really great. Another one of my big favourite songs is track 14. It's called Falling in Love Again. It's just the harmony in that particular track. I really absolutely love that track. It's one of my, if I'm gonna listen to, especially the first BLACKstreet album of as I said that this is, it really kind of hit that song really kind of hits you about the actual harmony, and Teddy Riley's vocals and his production on that really shines on that particular track. Tonight's the Night. There is a remix of that, I think, with SWV and Craig and the late Craig Mack. So that's a great track as well. And in the remix, if you can find it. And then track 18 is another one of my favorites. I Wanna Make Love. It's just the track, man. It's just the love ballad. It just hits you right there. And then the bonus track, Giving You All My Lovin', just to end off the album. Absolutely banging track. And if I had a singing voice, I probably would be singing a couple of the verses myself, but I won't, because my honest opinion, I can't sing. Even though people say I can, but that's a story for another time. But yeah, If you haven't listened to Blackstreet before, and you want to right, what better way to go back to their debut albums? And as I said before, I don't do things like a top 5 or a top 10 favorite albums of all time. If I see something, I'll just say, it's one of my favorite, up there, one of my favorites of all time. But yeah, I'm not of exaggerating by saying that this album was one of my favorites. It's definitely up. It's up there with one of my favorite albums of all time. Absolutely, the song still, the album still feels like it was just made yesterday. And as I said before, it goes back to the classic feel of R&B of the 90s, and it's just an absolutely banging album, man. And I would highly recommend. Listening to the album, whether it's you buy it physically or on a streaming service. But yeah, absolutely love this album. And as I said before, growing up as a teenager, it's what I will always remember in my young days, just listening to this, whether it's going on journeys or going on holiday to places, or as if we're going for a bad time, and then you put on an album that you like, and or having a hot bath, and then you're just chilling out and just listening to a really just well produced, well oiled album. So yeah, I can't recommend this album enough. This definitely gets a big thumbs up from me from this particular album. Anyway, I hope people found this video informative. I wanted to do something a little bit different, so I hope people kind of enjoy it. And if they do, I'll start doing more of them. Please feel free to like and to share with your friends and with your family. And if you can give this video a like, because that also helps people find my channel on YouTube, because of the YouTube algorithms, which don't favor us small time YouTubers. It also, if you can give this a like, I would appreciate and be most grateful. If you already haven't, please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see stuff like this and other stuff on my channel. There's plenty of content available. And I'll speak to you all again soon. So, wherever you're in the world, please stay safe. And I'll speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.